Shalom, shalom. Mr. Brother Kazwan.
Mr. Brother Shema all.
Right. And, we're going to hop into this live stream, get into the precepts, We want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, by Shema Mashiach, Womalak Yahweh Shai, right? And Shalom, shalom, the brothers and sisters out there going hard to serve the Most High day in and day out, right? Nonetheless, we're going to hop into the video, right? This video is getting into staying humble and not letting your pride kill you, not letting your pride creep up on you and slowly destroy you and make you stop serving the Most High God. Because you got a lot of people out here, they in the truth, right? But their pride is just it's hindering their faith, right? It's hindering them from increasing. It's hindering them from serving the Lord with a sincere heart, right? It's stopping them from serving the Most High at their full potential, right? You got anything you want to say?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely hindering. It hinder a lot of people, man. It make you get into things that you don't need to be in. You may even accept the office that you really not ready for, but you so powerful and you feeling mighty. Just an example, like Vegeta. If anybody watched Dragon Ball Z, Vegeta was very proudful. Cartoons would have bad traits on characters and try to glorify it, and really it's a downfall. Vegeta was very proudful, and once you proudful, you start. That's when a lot of other sins come into play, covetous and everything, because you see somebody else prospering. So it's wicked, man.
You can kick it off, man.
You gonna share your screen?
Yeah, let me. I gotta do something real quick though.
Cause I want to go to that definition on pride.
I got you. Just give me a second. Give me a second, Salaki.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to that definition on pride, but I'm gonna kick off with a precept. Go to a mighty chapter, Sirach chapter 10, and verse 12. It reads, "The beginning of pride is when one departed from Yahweh." Right? The beginning of pride is when one departed from Yahweh. And once you start being proudful, I mean, you get farther and farther away from the Most High. You start getting into things. Matter of fact, I got another precept. I believe it's Sirach 16. Right. I'm gonna bring this out. It says, "He that wanteth understanding," right? Sirach 16, verse 23. "He that wanteth understanding would think upon vain things." Right? When you think upon vain things, you in the spirit of pride, because you start to you start to believe that your own counsel is the way to go, when really you need to be getting into the precepts, because the Most High is the one who figure out your situation or whatever you need to do. But once you start lacking understanding, once you start being proudful, you lack understanding. You think, oh, I can do this, or I can do that. Man, all I gotta do is get $1 more or 50 more cents. Like, you're just being proudful, man. You're just being proudful. I'm gonna read that again. "He that wanteth understanding will think upon vain things, and a foolish man erring imagineth follies." Right? I mean, once you start being proudful, you're a foolish man. Right? What I was reading on with Sirach 10 and 12, it's beginning. It's the Salaki. I'm gonna go back to that, read it again. Sirach 10, verse 12. "The beginning of pride is when one departed from Yahweh." So once you start having that spirit of pride, you depart from the Most High. Little and little. Right? If you could bring out that definition of pride, Charles.
I got you.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's one of the most dangerous spirits, because once you're prideful, I mean, that's when you start to lust as well. Other spirits start getting involved. Plenty of spirits start getting involved once you start being prideful. All right, let's get into that.
You said I'm gonna just go to anyone or a specific verse.
Yeah, let me see in a blue letter, because Google is like similar words.
Oh, you wanted it in Google?
Yeah, Baruch.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's the words that they bring out. Salakia. You know, I can actually zoom in on my phone. Right, it says a feeling of deep pleasure or satisfaction derived from one's own achievements, the achievements of those with whom one is closely associated, or from qualities or possessions that are widely admired. Right, it says a feeling of deep pleasure. Once you get prideful, you start getting a feeling of deep pleasure. Your own counsel, man. You think, oh, I can't mess with that woman. I mean, yeah, she's married, but you know, she don't really know that sex is marriage. I mean, hey, she need to mess with a man of the Lord. That's my pride start coming in, man. Then you start freaking off. It says a feeling of deep pleasure, right? If you could click on the similarities real quick, Baba Kashal, right? Even if you even see something right there, pleasure, joy, delight, gratification, fulfillment. It says fulfillment, right? Once that spirit of pride, man, you start getting fulfillment of things, man. That's all. You got it, King.
Yeah. I wanted to touch on that point that you had up in Sirach, the 10th chapter, because it's more on that, you know. It was on Sirach 10 and 12, right?
Read that. I got you. Oh, you got it.
No, I got it. You good. All right, this I'm gonna start at verse number Sirach, the 10th chapter. We're gonna start at verse number 7. It says, pride is hateful before God and man, and by both doeth one commit iniquity. Right? So, you know, by pride, hey, that's how you start to commit iniquity. Because you start, like you say in the 12th verse, you start to depart from the Most High, right? You start to do your own thing. You say, hey, I got it. I can do this on my own, man. I don't need no help. You got that all me spirit like Drake, right? Got everything on your own, right? And that spirit got to go. The Lord hates that. The Most High hates that. He said that pride cometh before destruction, right? And Proverbs the 16th chapter. And we're gonna get that, right? It says because of right, we're gonna drop down, right? Drop down to verse 9, right? But it's all going into the same thing, right? But it says, why is earth and ashes proud? Right? You can look at this, you know, two ways, right? You got the earth and the ashes, right? You got the earth and the ash, like the grass, the dirt. Hey, they're never proud. Right? You can look at it like that. They're never proud. They just do what the Most High put them there to do. Right? Then you got to look at it another way, right? Why is earth and ashes proud? You are earth and ashes. Man is earth and ashes, right? Right? Man is earth and ashes. So, hey, why is he being proud? Why is he bucking up against the Most High's will? Why is he not keeping the commandments? Why is he, having hate towards his brother? Why is man like that? Right? It says there is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man. For such an one setteth his own soul to sale, because while he liveth, he cast away his bowels. Right? It's not a more wicked thing than a man that's covetous. Right? Because that covetousness comes from pride. Right? He turned away from the Most High. Like, hey, I don't need to pray. I don't need to fast. Right? I don't need to go over these precepts to get my spirit in check. Right? I don't gotta do nothing, man. Right? All I got to do is know a million precepts and a million breakdowns. Right? But secretly, behind the closed doors, he wanted what somebody else got. Right? So that pride can destroy you. Right? I'm going to drop down to verse number 13. Right? It says, for pride is the beginning of sin, and he that hath it shall pour out abomination. Therefore, the Lord brought upon them strange calamities and overthrew them utterly. Right? So pride is the beginning of sin. Hey, aren't homosexuals prideful? Aren't adulterers prideful? Aren't whores and whoremongers prideful? They don't want to hear nothing. They don't want to get rebuked. But all they doing is pouring out abominations, bringing death upon themselves. Right? That's what the wages of sin is. Death. Right? So if you're being prideful, hey, you right there. You right there to become being in sin. So you got to make sure that you're getting your spirit in check. Make sure that you stand in the spirit of meekness, right? Being humble like your forefathers. Right? The elect are going to be meek. That's what the scripture says. So that's the spirit you want to move in at all times on a day-to-day basis. right? It might be something you got. It might be a challenge, right? Because you got men. Hey, they was 20 years in the world. They was always prideful. They just want to do everything on their own. They feel like nobody could tell them nothing. They feel like they on top of the world. Right? You can't be like that in the truth, right? Right? Because then you moving in the spirit of a heathen, of an Edomite, right? You moving in that spirit. You moving in the spirit of a wicked man, right? And let's see what the Lord. He said he overthrew them utterly, right? He did this to so many different kingdoms, the Romans, the Greeks, right? You got an Antiochus the Epiphanes, right? Let's look up what Epiphanes means, right? Right? Hey, they was exalting themselves up to the Most High out of pride, man. Right? Epiphanes, right? Slovakia. Right? It meaning God manifest or glorious illustrious is an ancient Greek epithet born by several Hellenistic rulers. So you had Antiochus the Fourth. He was God manifest, and the Lord had to bring him down, man. The Lord had to kill Antiochus, man. The Lord had to kill all the Greeks, right? He had to destroy that entire kingdom. It says the Lord hath cast down the thrones of proud princes and set up the meek in their stead. So he set up Judas Maccabeus, right? He's gonna set up Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, right? He's gonna set Yahweh Shai back up, right? He's gonna set the elect up to rule over these different nations, but that's only because they're meek. The prideful man is gonna die in his sins in America. Right, the prideful man is not going to make it to the kingdom. The prideful man, he's probably not going to last in the truth if he don't get his spirit in check. Right, it says the Lord hath plucked up the roots of the proud nations and planted the lowly in their place. Right, so we see that right now. Right, the Lord is plucking up the roots of all these different proud nations. Right, he's getting ready to plant the lowly up in their place, which is us, the nation of Israel, those that's forgot about. Right, the nation not desired. Right? Let's keep reading. It says the Lord overthrew countries of the heathen and destroyed them to the foundations of the earth. Right? He took some of them away and destroyed them and made them their memorial to cease from the earth. Pride was not made from men, nor anger for them that are born of a woman. They that fear the Lord are a sure seed, and they that love him an honorable plant. They that regard not the law are a dishonorable seed. They that transgress the commandments are a deceivable seed. Right? And that's, I'm going to drop down to 21, right? It says, the fear of the Lord goeth before the obtaining of authority, but roughness and pride is the losing thereof. That's plain, right? So that's what we're going to go into in this live, man. Not being prideful, man, right? Because that pride, it's going to destroy a lot of men in these last days, and they don't even know it, right? Because when you being prideful, you might not see it. You might not see it unless you're willing to examine yourself, right? But let's go to the book of 1 John chapter 5 and verse number 8. I mean 1 Peter 5 and verse number 5. And if you got a precept, just let me know. Right.
I got a precept, but you got it.
All right, this is 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse number 5. We're just gonna start it, get to the point. Right, it says, likewise, ye younger, submit yourselves unto the elder. Yea, all of you be subject one to another, and be clothed with humility. For God resisteth the proud and giveth grace to the humble. Right? So if you want grace, right, you got to be clothed with humility. Right? You can't be naked and being in pride, being in sin. Right? You can't just be having your garment hanging off your shoulder, and you ain't got no humility. Right? That pride just starting to slip out when your garments start falling off your shoulder. Right? Then you end up naked because it end up getting untied. Right? Because Satan just kind of took it off of you. Right? Because the Lord said he resists the proud. He's not dealing with the prideful man. He's not hand in hand with the prideful man. The prideful man isn't doing the Most High's will. He's doing his own thing. He's teaching his own doctrine. He making his own traditions. He basically saying the hell with the Most High. Right? But it says he give grace to the humble. Right? It says, humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of Yahweh, that he may exalt you in due time. Right? Because you got a lot of men, they out here saying, hey, man, Lord willing, I'm part of the hopeful elect. Right? But they're not doing the things that's necessary to be a part of that elect, to be exalted. They're not humbling themselves. right? That's a lot of men out here, right? Because they start to know a lot of precepts, and they start to understand the breakdowns, right? They feel like they on top of the world, right? You should want to feel, above obviously, and above wickedness, right? But you don't want to be, prideful to the point where you start to look down upon your brothers, to the point where you start to look down upon sisters, upon the you start to look down upon the wicked, right? You're not giving back to the poor. Are you like, man, this homeless man, I ain't giving him nothing, man. He probably on crack. He wicked. Right? You can't do that, man. You gotta humble yourselves under the mighty hand of the Most High God, right? So that you can be exalted in due time, man. That you can continue to grow, you continue to increase, become the best man possible in the Most High's eyes. Right? It says, casting all your care upon him, for he cared for you. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. Right? Hey, and once that pride get in, hey, Sirach the 10th chapter said that's the beginning of sin. So once Satan kind of see that prideful spirit kind of kick it in, right, then he gonna kind of devour you, right? He gonna kind of just catch you lacking, and now you just doing whatever you want to do, right? But you got it, King.
God, that's right. Gotta be watchful, man, and really work on like examining yourself, because pride is very sneaky, sneaky as well. So if you don't really check your spirit, for if you being proud for anything, I mean, just you gonna end up getting got. All right, this is the book of James, chapter 4, verse 6. It says, "But he giveth more grace, wherefore he saith, Yahweh resist the proud, but giveth grace unto the humble." They resist the proud. He resists the proudful, right? He's not dealing with a brother that's just talk about folly all day. That's proudful, man.
Right.
I want to speak about the Lord, him waking you up this morning, right? There's some people that want to be able to wake up. You say you went to sleep early. There's brothers that went to sleep early and never woke up again. But you woke up in the middle of the night. That's grace and mercy. I'm talking about sports for for 2 days straight. You ain't even mention the Lord. You ain't even think about the Lord. That's powerful, man. You're not even thinking about the times where he got you out of a situation. You're not even thinking about the times where you ain't had no food, but for some reason the brother say, "Hey man, you hungry? You need something to eat." You ain't even thinking about the blessing the Lord gave you. That's powerful. I'm gonna read it again. But he giveth more grace. What he saith, God resists the proud, but giveth grace unto the humble. Right? Submit yourselves therefore to Yahweh. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. It says resist the devil. Once you're not going to be able to resist the devil if you're prideful. You really bring it Satan in. Satan is attracted to that, right? Once you're being proudful, that spirit is attract other spirits. Now you got legions on you. Now you just doing whatever, right? I got another precept just to look up first classic. First John chapter 2. I start at 15. Right? It says, "Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life." The pride of life, right? Money. It's I don't know if you heard, it's an old song Lil Uzi had. When I was in the world, I used to listen to Lil Uzi, right? And he said, sorry, God, I got this on my own. All praise to the Most High. I didn't, I was in the world. I didn't like really like, yeah. I'm like, what? Man, you tripping, bro. That's crazy to say, because yes, he was in the world, whatever, but the Most High bless him, right? I mean, it's no coincidence why he at where he at now. I mean, yeah, he in wickedness and so on and so forth, but I mean, just like what First Samuel chapter 2, verse 6, the Lord can cast down, he can bring it up, roughly paraphrasing. So it's prideful, the pride of life. And you got Jake thinking that money will help him. You ask him about the Lord, he say, man, I gotta get this bread, man. I don't know what you talking about. God who? Yahweh who? All right, that's off, man. It said the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. And once you prideful, you're gonna be of the world, because other spirits is gonna take you back into that old man. Now you're doing things that you used to do in the world, right? Now you're caring so much about money. Now you're caring so much about, sex and just all manner of wickedness, man. You're overeating and all type of wickedness, man. Right? You got it, King.
Right. And the brothers, going in, right? But I want to touch back on that point, where it says, why is earth and ashes proud? Right. Let me get this precept real quick in Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 64. Right? Because you gotta, to humble yourself, right? You gotta always remember where you came from. Right? Especially, us now, especially us now, right? We have to remember we came from the dust, man. Right? We came from the dust, man. Just like no wisdom, no knowledge, no understanding, no order, right? No righteousness. We were just dirty, filthy men and women before Yahweh Shai came and cleansed us and brought us to life. Right? This is Isaiah 64 and verse number 6. Right? It says, but we are all as an unclean thing, and all our righteousness are as filthy rags, and we all do fade as a leaf, and our iniquities, like the wind, have taken us away. Right? So we got to always remember that. Right? As long as we in these fleshly bodies, right, we're gonna be like unclean things, right? Because you're gonna go off, you're gonna get prideful at times, right? Hey, these things is gonna happen. Right? It's always gonna happen, but you got to do the best that you could possibly do, right, to make yourself perfect through the Spirit, right, to make yourself, acceptable unto the Lord, right? Show the Most High that you trying at least, right? But you have men that they don't do that, and that's pride, because you saying, hey, the Most High, hey, he'll never be able to make me clean. He'll never make my garment white. That's all you saying, right? So we got to remember where we came from, All right, let's go to the book of Galatians, chapter 6. Galatians, chapter 6, and verse number 3. All right, it says, for if a man think himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself. Right, so you don't want to get caught up, you got a so-called name for yourself in the truth, right? A lot of people know you, they see you teaching, or they just, or anything, right? In any case, you don't want to think that you something, right? Hey, the Most High said you nothing, right? You're earth and ashes, right? You need to make sure that you stand in the right spirit, staying humble, staying meek, right? Before you deceive yourself and you start to destroy your own mind, right? Let's just go to verse 1. It says, brethren, if a man be overtaken of fault, ye which are spiritual, restore such an one in the spirit of meekness, considering thyself, lest thou also be tempted. Right? So let's say a brother dealing with let me think of a spirit. A brother, like any spirit that a brother might be dealing with. Let's just say, whatever. Right? It might be a certain spirit of the brother dealing with, and he falling. He getting overtaken by this demon over and over and over and over again. He just losing. He can't win. Right? And he comes to you and he's like, hey man, Lord only, brother, you could pray for me. I'm going through this, man. You got some precepts, some advice to help me out with this spirit. Right? You want to be in the spirit of meekness and show that brother, hey, yeah, I got these precepts for you. All right, I got this advice for you. This certain situation I went through. Feel me? I feel like, I could tell you this because it can probably help you benefit from it. Right? You want to be in the spirit of meekness when you're teaching that brother something like that, right? Because, it says, lest thou also be tempted. Right? Because you could be tempted by the same, end up getting troubled by that same spirit. It might be a spirit you went through, right? You might have overcame it, right? So you want to be able to give that brother that counsel, right? You want to bear his burden, like the verse 2 says. Because if you don't, and you let pride get to you, like, but you still dealing with that demon. It's been 8 months. What's going on, brother? Right? You start doing all that. Hey, the Lord said you're gonna get tempted too, man. Right? That spirit gonna come upon you. Hey, you might fall off the truth because of your pride. Right? It says, bear ye one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Christ. Right? So bear you that, hey, that's being meek. That's being humble. That's moving in the right spirit by bearing your brothers and sisters' burdens, right? Praying for them, fasting for them, letting them vent to you, showing that compassion. It was a time when I wasn't compassionate, and the Lord was getting up with me, man, day in and day out. So you gotta learn, right? You gotta grow in this truth, right? Being the mightiest teacher, knowing the most precepts, having the best fringes, the longest ZZs. Hey, that's not what the truth is about. Loving your brother and fulfilling the law of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is what the truth is about. Being in the spirit of meekness, removing yourself from pride and lust, right? Right? Let me go to the book of First Corinthians, right? Kind of getting into that as well. First Corinthians, touching on that point. First Corinthians chapter 8. Right? Right? First Corinthians 8:1. It says, now, as touching things offered unto idols, we know that we all have knowledge. Knowledge puffeth up, but charity edifieth. Right? So knowledge, hey, you get a certain amount of knowledge, you start puffing yourself up. Right? You see it all the time. And people on Instagram always posting something about wicked Jake and Eve. Always post some, hey, they don't know better, man. Right? They always arguing in the comments of wicked Jake and Eve like they know better. Just edify them. That's your charity right there. Edify them. That's moving in the spirit of meekness when you give charity, right? By edifying. Stop cutting them down. Say, hey, brother, you know what? Since you want to be a damn Christian, you're gonna die. The Lord gonna kill you. Hey, the Lord not dealing with that, man. Yeah, you could give them their judgment and let them warn them, right? But I mean, you got people, they don't even edify their people. They just, hey, man, Zephaniah 13:8. Zephaniah 13:8, you wicked nigga. Right? Let's go to verse 2. Right? It says, that any man think that he knoweth anything, he knoweth nothing as yet he ought to know. Right? Hey, you don't know everything, man. Right? You get cut down that quick. Somebody could come and scoff at you with the book of Enoch, destroy all your wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and now you believe in the book of Enoch. Right? You don't know nothing. Right? Like you think you know. Right? It's a whole lot of mysteries out there still being waiting, that the Lord ain't shown man yet. Right? But you got it, King.
Yeah, come, man. Brother bringing it out. It's a lot of brothers that think they know something and they really don't. I'll be having to catch myself. You know, being in the world, see a lot of folly going on. I mean, you don't want to put yourself in a high stature when you just dust and ashes. Because the Most High could literally take all the understanding away from you. The little small understanding you have, the Most High can take it away just how quickly He brought you in the truth. You don't want to be in that position, right? I'm gonna bring out precept.
You said what?
I'm gonna bring out a precept, Proverbs 11:2. Proverbs 11:2, man. That pride, that's when I came in the truth, I thought lust was like the biggest demon. So I'm actually understanding pride is one of the biggest demons. That's where it all starts, right? Proverbs chapter 11 and verse 2, it says, when pride cometh, then cometh shame. And when you in that spirit, you won't know until after you do the things you do. Now you're shameful now. What? Or you may not even realize it. It may take weeks because you're so involved in whatever folly you in, whatever spirit that, you're battling. And once pride come involved, you just dwelling in that sin until a brother actually comes to you and tell you what you've been doing. Now you're shameful. But with the lowly, I'm gonna read that again. When pride cometh, then cometh shame. But with the lowly is wisdom. And when you humble yourself, right, You take heed to the commandments. You realize like, oh, I can't. Yeah, man, most I ain't gonna, you ain't gonna deal with that. But if you're proud, you're gonna be like, man, I can't. It ain't nothing, right? You wake up in the morning, you don't say no prayers, you get right on the game. You ain't even brush your teeth, right? You just hop straight on the game, ready for 2K. Sending people party invites. Ain't no, bro. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. Who is up finna play the game? And that's the case. They already, been up already playing the game. They finna go to bed, and you send them invites. That's proudful, man. The Lord ain't dealing with that. Lord ain't dealing with that, right? I'm gonna bring out another precept too, an account, classic account. Luke chapter 18 and verse 10. You know, like, because you obviously don't want to throw up prayers and you just, I mean, you just going up, you're throwing up prayers, you're saying, yeah, it. Honestly, I'm gonna say this through the spirit. It's prideful to say that some of the blessings, the blessings you get is from the righteous works you've done, because it may not be that. It's just the mercy of the Most High, right? I forgot what precept that was too. I think it's in the law, but I'm gonna bring this out. This is the book of Luke, chapter 18 and verse 10. Right? It says, two men went up into the temple to pray, the one a Pharisee and the other a publican. The Pharisee stood and prayed thus with himself: Yahweh, I thank thee that I am not as other men are, extortioners, unjust, adulterers, or even as this publican. I mean, that's wicked to say, because even though you may not be, being an adulterer or fornicator or whatever, but those thoughts still come to mind, right? Those demons still play on you, even though you haven't been committing those type of sins, but it can happen, right? You don't want to bash somebody just because they dealing with that spirit. They may need your help if you can get over it, like the brother was saying, right? And two, I'm gonna read that again. The Pharisee stood and prayed thus with himself: God, I thank thee that I am not as other men. I mean, it don't make you no different. I mean, you're the same as them. The only thing is different is that you have the understanding. You know the wisdom. You have the wisdom, and you know the Most High's name. You should be helping them brothers out. You know, through the spirit. Like, you can't just like the Jake at work. He just, his mind is gone, man. And I can tell he like asking for help. He may be laughing, and it'd be very proudful. I just, brother, you dumb, you stupid, bro. You don't know the Lord. I don't know how I can help you. That's off, man. I'm glad I'm not like you. That's off. All right. The brother needed help. He's saying all type of folly. You know what I'm saying? I just let him know, man to man. Even though he may not even take it. Right? Reading on, it says, the Pharisee stood and prayed thus with himself: Yahweh, I thank thee that I am not as other men, or extortioners, unjust, adulterers, or even as this publican. I fast twice in the week. I give tithes of all that I possess. You don't want to be boasting about your works, because you ain't doing enough. You're not doing enough. Just because you fast twice a week, that doesn't mean anything, right? It's a brother right now that I know, a brother that fasts for a whole week, 7 days. So what? You still ain't doing enough. Okay, you read 3 chapters every day. Cool. Somebody that reads 7. And know what it's going into, right? Know what every chapter going into through the spirit. Know the context and everything. And that you shouldn't be boasting about your work. I'm gonna read that again. I fast twice in the week. I give tithes of all that I possess. The Lord not dealing with that. You boasting about your works, right? Because so you in this truth just to boast about what you do. Yeah, I put my fringes on. Yeah, I pray 8 times a day, right? That's off, man. You boasting about your works. You don't see in the world. You don't see. Kobe was boasting about his works. Kobe wasn't boasting, yeah, I train every day, I do this. And he don't do that. He didn't do that. He ain't boast about his works. He showed them. He didn't have to speak it. You seen it on him, right? You could see a brother that's being diligent. You could feel a brother's spirit when he's being diligent. And for the sisters, you could feel a sister when she's being diligent, right? She obeying her husband, right? Putting on a dress. She's being modest, shamefaced, right? You could see that. You don't have to speak that. That's powerful, right? I'm gonna just jump down. I'm gonna keep reading on. And the publican standing afar off, right? Verse 13. And the publican standing afar off would not lift up so much as his eyes unto heaven, but smote upon his breast, saying, Yahweh, be merciful to me, a sinner. And if it's somebody in the truth saying that they don't sin, man, you got something coming for you, man. He said, Yahweh be merciful to me, a sinner. Do you think the Pharisees think he's a sinner? No. If anybody think they not a sinner, they're gonna have a rude awakening when they see Yahweh Shai. Or when all hell break loose, right, in a family. God forbid that nobody dies in the family or anything like that, but you know it's off. Because we all sinners, man. We're filthy. We drink iniquity like water, man. Right? You got it, King. Matter of fact, Salakia. I'm gonna keep reading on. Verse 14. I tell you this: man went down to his house justified rather than the other. For everyone that exalted himself shall be abased. So you exalt yourself, you're gonna be abased, man. You're gonna be brought very low. You want to go in the first class on the flight, and then next thing you know, you see Denzel. You sitting in Denzel's seat. Get up. You gotta go to the back, bro. You can't be over here, man. Exalting yourself. That's what you get. And he that humbleth himself shall be exalted. Right? And you got it, King.
Yeah, like the brother said, if you saying you're not a sinner, you know, hey, the Lord, hey, everybody know. If you saying that, hey, everybody know you moving in the spirit of pride, and you should have people around you, getting on you when you say something like that, right? Because the scriptures say, hey, everybody sinned, right, and come short, right? This is Romans 3:23. It says, "For all have sinned and come short of the glory of Yahweh," right? So every man has sinned. Every man has spirits on him, and they've come short. They fell short 7 times, meaning completion, right? But you might have failed 100,000 times, and the Lord still had mercy on you, right? That should make you that should keep you in the spirit of meekness, knowing that the Lord, He really don't need you in this truth, right? He could just take you up out of this thing like that, right? Because why does He need you when He can have somebody better than you, right? Somebody that's gonna fight demons better than you, somebody that's not gonna move in the spirit of meekness. I mean, move in the spirit of pride, right? They're gonna move in that spirit of being humble, right? They're gonna have compassion upon their people, right? They're gonna exalt the name of the Most High, right? So that's why you want to be making sure that you're moving in the right spirit these last days, right? But let me go to this account up in Luke because the brother made me think of another account, when he went to Luke 18. All right, this is Luke, the 14th chapter, in the 7th verse. It says, "And he put forth a parable to those which were bidden, when he marked how they chose out the chief rooms, saying unto them, When thou art bidden of any man to a wedding, sit not down in the highest room, lest a more honorable man than thou be bidden of him." Right. So what the Lord is saying, right? He's saying, hey, let's say you go to a nice get together, right, of a bunch of Israelites, you know, or if you go to some place, feel me, right? Hey, if you don't try to go and sit in the highest room, right, with the chiefest of men, the chiefest seats, with all the most so-called honorable men. Don't try to go do that, because then, hey, it might be somebody. Hey, he deserves that spot more to you, right? He more honorable, so they're gonna take that from you, right? And you're gonna be embarrassed, right? It says he bade thee and him come and say to thee, give this man place. Meaning, hey, get up out this seat, bro. Right, this for him. I don't even know why you here. Right? It says, and now begin with shame to take the lowest room. And then now you got to go and take the damn trashy seat in the room. Right? You got to go into the damn, what am I thinking? You just got to sit in the worst spot. Right? And now everybody looking at you. They just, look at this brother. He should never, we don't even know him, man. Why is he here? Right? Now look at you. Now look at you. That's what Jake said. Now look at you. Goofy. Right? But this is what it says. It says, but when thou art bidden, go and sit down in the lowest room, that when he that bade thee cometh, he may say unto thee, friend, go up higher. Then shalt thou have worship in the presence of them that sit at meat. Meaning, hey, in the first place, in the spirit of moving in that spirit of meekness, just go sit in a spot where it's low at, right? It's not the mightiest spot to be at. Right, because then, hey, you might have somebody might just be like, hey, you know what, brother? Come over here, come chop it up with us, man. Right, come over here real quick, hey, come sit with us. You ain't gotta sit over there by yourself, man. Right, move like that. Right, you don't gotta go. You trying to sit with Jake call it the cool people in the world. They sell it at the cool kids table. Hey, man, I'm gonna go sit at this cool kids table. It's all rounded. It's a round table. You got everybody that's so-called popular in the world. That's what they say, right? Hey, don't go sit over there. Just go sit by yourself. It might be one or two brothers over there. They might not be those so-called cool kids, right? Go chop it up with them. Right. And then you could, you might be able to go sit over there, right? It says, for whosoever exalteth himself shall be abased, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted. And that's plain. All right. Let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 5. Matthew, chapter 5. And we're going to start at verse number 5. It says, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. That's plain. The meek are going to inherit the earth. Who is that talking about? The elect. All right, the Lord is talking about every Jake and every Eve. You think Michael Jordan's going to inherit the earth? Michael Jordan and his kids? Right? Who else is a prideful person in the world? A prideful Jake. Or you got a lot of them, right? But they're not going to inherit the earth. The Lord said, blessed are the meek, talking about the elect. Right, let's go to the book of Zephaniah real quick, and I'm going to let you get in there. Salakia.
Allah, Salakia. Now, I'm saying Chris Brown, man.
Chris Brown, yeah. A lot of these men. Hey, a lot of them, they prideful, man. Right? Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse number 3. It says, seek ye the Lord, all ye meek of the earth, which have wrought his judgment. Seek righteousness, seek meekness. It may be, ye shall be hid in the day of the Lord's anger. Right? So if you want to be hid from the anger of the Lord, you don't want to get caught up out here when famine is on the rise. You don't want to get caught up and die by the sword. Right? You don't want to get caught up and die of vanity. Hey, then seek meekness and seek righteousness. Those are going to be the men and women that get hid in the day of the Lord's anger. They're not going to get destroyed. They're going to endure into the end unless they obviously a martyr of Yahushua. Right? But, that's plain, man. That's the spirit people want to move in. Right? Let me grab one more precept. So all right, this is Proverbs chapter 10 and verse number 3. Right? The Lord will not suffer the soul of the righteous to famish, but he casteth away the substance of the wicked. Right? So the righteous man, right? He's going to be humble. Right? He's going to be meek. His spirit, the Lord not going to cause his soul to famish. He's not going to destroy that man. Right? Because that man is doing the Lord's will. That man, he's not exalting himself above the Most High. He's not exalting himself like Antiochus, saying God manifests, what Epip this means. Hey, that man got destroyed. And a million other men got destroyed. Pharaoh got destroyed. Cyrus got destroyed. Antiochus got destroyed. Nicanor got destroyed. Hey, those men got destroyed, man. Herod got destroyed. Right? Hey, those men got destroyed because they was prideful and they were wicked. Same with Jake's number 16, right? Korah and his company. They got destroyed for being prideful. The Lord will destroy you for being prideful, man. I don't know how, much more to explain that. Right? But you got it.
Yeah, Con, uh I'm low key probably get into that. But yeah, I mean, you being proudful, you basically acting like a heathen. I mean, you just acting like a heathen. Because Esau is proudful, right? Defile the temple. It's proudful, man. You just don't care. Forget about the Lord. I got it. It's basically what you're saying through the spirit. I got it. I got everything under control. All right. My car running because of me. See that? It's starting now. My battery's dead. I put the battery in. But you ain't even, you know, how you get the battery? How you even know what store to go to get the battery? How do you even have that thought to come to your mind to get the battery? It's the Most High. Man goings is of the Lord, not of man. Man goings is of man. No, man goings is of the Lord. The Lord directs your steps, right? And even Moses. Imagine if Moses just said, nah, right? Because he could have lived very wonderful with Pharaoh, right? Being the son of Pharaoh's daughter, right? This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 11, and verse 24. By faith, Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of Yahweh than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. So what if Moses was like, man, no, man, I got it good, man. I'm eating all the finest fruits and I'm eating all the beasts of the field, right? I got all the women. I mean, I don't even got to do nothing. I barely can. Shoot, I ain't even got to walk. They gonna carry me everywhere. What if he did that? That would have been prideful. And Moses was one of the humblest, right? One of the most meekest men. What if he did not choosing rather to suffer affliction? What if he didn't choose affliction? He'd have said, no, I got it good, Lord. I'm decent. Jake say, I'm decent, bro. I'm decent. What? I got a whip. I got my PS5, right? I just got a lining. I'm cool. Oh, I got all the eaves. No, he chose rather to suffer affliction with the people of Yahweh than to enjoy pleasures of sin for a season. When you prideful, you obviously taking joy in that sin that you love to do. Because once that pride come, then that's what once you get covetous and you get comfortable, right? You start to get comfortable. And I thought about this too, once you fast, right? You could feel your spirit just getting whipped, right? And maybe a day, not a day, but once that hour come up, it's over, and you break your fast, and you just ah, that's how pride is, man. All right, I'm gonna bring out another precept too of another account when Aaron and Miriam, they was talking to Moses crazy, like just prideful, like it's crazy how they honestly forgot. I don't know how, but they forgot who they were talking to. Because once you're prideful, you start talking crazy to people, right? You have no type of control over your mouth now. You're speaking gal. You're just speaking just with madness, right? Slocky, bear with me. I got that picture. What was that? That was Numbers. I don't know, I'm tweaking. Salakia. I believe that was what's his name. Yeah, Khan. That was Numbers 13. No, Numbers 12. This is the book of Numbers, chapter 12, verse 1. And Miriam and Aaron spec against Moses because of the Ethiopian woman whom he had married. For he had married an Ethiopian woman. And they said, Hath the Lord indeed spoken only by Moses? Hath he not spoken also by us? And the Lord heard it. Now the man Moses was very meek above all the men which were upon the face of the earth. Just like I was going into. Even the Lord said it. Moses was very meek. It was very meek for him to choose rather affliction than to enjoy sin for a season. Right? Renown. And the Lord spake suddenly unto Moses and unto Aaron and unto Miriam, come out ye three unto the tabernacle of the congregation, and they three came out. And the Lord came down in the pillar of the cloud and stood in the door of the tabernacle and called Aaron and Miriam, and they both came forth. And he said, hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you, I the Lord will make myself known unto him in a vision, and will speak unto him in a dream. My servant Moses is not so, who is faithful in all my house. With him will I speak mouth to mouth, even apparently, and not in dark speeches. In the similitude of the Lord shall he behold. Wherefore then were ye not afraid to speak against my servant Moses? Like Aaron and Miriam forgot who they was talking about, right? They started being proudful, like, man, like, why? Who you marry an Ethiopian woman? You get the gossiping, backbiting. You gonna end up backbiting the wrong brother, and you don't even know who you're talking to. And it's crazy. They know that they know Moses, talks to the Most High face to face, right? Speaks to the Most High, have conversations, deep conversations, know the secrets, but you still manage to talk back. That's prideful, man. They didn't even think about that. Once you got pride on you, you don't think about nothing else. No understanding. Everything is blocked, right? I'm gonna read that again. Right? It says, with him will I speak mouth to mouth, even apparently, and not in dark speeches. In the similitude of the Lord shall he behold. Wherefore then were ye not afraid to speak against my servant Moses? Right? And the anger of the Lord was kindled against him, and he departed. And you don't want the Lord, you know, his anger get kindled against you, because you won't even know he's upset with you. That's why you need to diligently examine yourself to make sure that you're not being prideful. You don't have that spirit of pride on you, because the Lord will be upset with you and you won't even know it. And then you're going to find out once that judgment hits. Like Miriam, she ended up being leprous, right? Not going to read the whole account, but once you're being prideful, you start backbiting. You got to watch what you say, watch your actions, because your actions saying F the Most High. It's really what it's saying. It's plain. That's really what you're saying. F the Most High. I got my life straight. I know it all. I got a brother in the world. He, once you come in his truth, you got to tell everybody. I'm letting him know what's up, and I don't need it. I already got what I need. It's prideful, man. It's prideful. You don't want to be like that, all right? I'm gonna bring out another one last precept. Classic Proverbs 29. Proverbs 29 and 3. 23. Proverbs 29 and 23. A man's pride shall bring him low, but honor shall uphold the humble in spirit. Right? A man's pride shall bring him low. But once a man is prideful, his head is held high. And really, his head is in his ass, man. His head is in his ass, man. Right? But honor shall uphold the humble in spirit. Right? It shall hold Salakia. But honor shall uphold the humble in spirit. Once you're humble, man, you'll be exalted. Right? You got it, King.
I want to pull up these accounts, before I go to the milk precepts, get these accounts, showing men being destroyed because of their pride, because I mentioned it before, right? And I went to the 10th chapter, going into it a little bit, right? But I want to pull these accounts, right? This is First Maccabees chapter 13, right? I think I'm gonna just think that's what I want. That's lucky. That ain't what I want. Right, I'm gonna go to Numbers, the 16th chapter. Right, I was looking for something in First Maccabees. I can't remember off the top of my head. Right, you know, because he was going into it when he went to Numbers, the 12th chapter. You know, you had Miriam and Aaron bucking up against Moses when the Lord was dealing with Moses. Right, but you also had Korah and them, and they got swallowed by the earth. Right, I'm gonna start at Salakia. I'm gonna start at verse 1. It says, "Now Korah, the son of Izhar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi, and Dathan, and Abram, and the sons of Eliab, and on the son of on the son of Peleth, sons of Reuben, took men, and they rose up before Moses with a certain of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the assembly, famous in the congregation, men of renown." Right, so you got all these men of renown, right, and they coming up against Moses, man. Right, all these so-called mighty men. Right, it says, "And they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron, and said unto them, Ye take too much upon you, seeing all the congregation are holy, every one of them, and the Lord is among them. Wherefore then lift you up yourselves above the congregation of the Lord." Right, so you got all these so-called mighty men of renown, being prideful, gathering themselves up against Moses, saying, "Hey, y'all, hey, who told y'all that y'all could lift yourselves up and lead us? Right? Who anointed y'all to do this? Hey, the Lord did that." Right? But you got all these mighty men, and none of them can notice this spirit. And that shows you how easily these spirits can manipulate your mind. How Satan gonna come up, you know, catch you lacking and devour you. Right? It says, verse 4, and when Moses heard it, he fell upon his face. And look at that. That's a mighty thing he did. That's meek. That's meekness for real. He fell upon his face. He could have said, "Hey, man, I'm anointed by the Lord. Get out of my face." Right? It's a lot of men, hey, they probably would have said that nowadays. So what? Bro, I'm in the truth, man. Get out my damn face, man. You don't know what you're talking about. Right? Hey, but Moses fell upon his face. Right? It says, "And he spake unto Korah and unto all his company, saying, Even tomorrow the Lord will show who are his, and who is holy, and will cause him to come near unto him, even him whom he hath chosen, will he cause to come near unto him." Right? So he's saying, hey, tomorrow the Lord is going to show, right? He's going to show who is his and who's not his. He's going to show you who the Lord is dealing with and who he's not dealing with. That's all he's telling them, right? And I'm going to drop down to verse number I'm going to drop down to verse number 13. I think that's what I want to drop down to. It says, "It is a small thing that thou hast brought us up out of the land that floweth with milk and honey, to kill us in the wilderness, except thou make thyself altogether a prince over us." Right, so they basically murmuring, saying, "Hey, man, y'all brought us out of the damn land of milk and honey," talking about Egypt, right, to make us die in the wilderness, right? And now you want to be prince over us, right? It says, "Moreover, thou hast not brought us into the land that flows with milk and honey, or given us inheritance of fields and vineyards. Wilt thou put out the eyes of these men? We will not come up." And Moses was very wroth and said unto the Lord, "Respect not thou their offering. I have not taken one ass from them, neither have I hurt one of them." And Moses said unto Korah, "Be thou and all thy company before the Lord, thou and they, and Aaron tomorrow." Right? I'm going to drop down. Right? I'm going to drop down to verse 19. "And Korah gathered all the congregation against them unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and the glory of the Lord appeared unto all the congregation. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron, saying, Separate yourselves from among this congregation, that I may consume them in a moment. And they fell upon their faces and said, O Yahweh, the God of the spirits of all flesh, shall one man sin, and wilt thou be wroth with all the congregation?" Right? Okay, I got to get to the point. Right? Trying to find, there we go. Right, verse 31. It says, "And it came to pass, as he had made an end of speaking all these words, that the ground clave asunder that was under them, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed them up, and their houses, and all the men that appertained unto Korah and all their goods. Right. So all those men, right, because they were being prideful, they got destroyed. They were speaking proudly, right? They was talking arrogant, right? They was moving in the wrong spirit as a collective, and the Lord destroyed them as a collective. That could happen to a whole congregation, now, right? You see congregations like that now, right? They were speaking proudly, They might have been speaking proudly, right? And then, the Lord turned them into bug outs. Right now, they eating pork. Now all the nations could get saved, right? They just coke infused pork eaters, man, right? So that's why you don't want to be moving in that spirit, right? Let's get this precept real quick. 1 Samuel chapter 2. All right, this is 1 Samuel chapter 2 and verse number 3. Just get to the point. Right, it says, talk no more exceedingly proud. Let not arrogancy come out of your mouth, for the Lord is a God of knowledge, and by him actions are weighed. Right, so all that prideful talking that Miriam did, she had to get that leprosy. Right, all the pride talking that Korah and his company did, the actions had to be weighed, man. The Lord had to get up with them. Right, and that's going to continue to happen to men and women on this earth today in these last days, because they're not going to want to turn to the Lord. They're not going to try to humble themselves under the hand of the Most High, right, to do His will. Right, so it's going to be Zephaniah 13:8, 2/3. People get destroyed. Right, I'm gonna grab a few more precepts on this, and then I want to show something else. Right, what was that precept? You got it.
You sure you good?
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, Con. That's right though. I want to bring out another account too. As far as probably one in the law. Yeah, man, that prideful spirit, man, that prideful spirit is serious. It's times where I have to make, check myself every day, because that prideful spirit, man, you mess around and won't even put fringes on no more. Mess around and know the Lord's name because you're being prideful. Right? We can go to actually I'm just go to 2 Samuel. Pretty sure everybody know where I'm going. Everybody know where I'm going. 2 Samuel chapter 11. All right. The book of 2 Samuel chapter 11. Right. It reads, and it came to pass after the year was expired, at the time when kings go forth to battle, that David sent Joab his servants with him and all Israel, and they destroyed the children of Ammon and besieged Rabbah, but David tarried still at Jerusalem. Right? I mean, what he's doing is still tarrying at Jerusalem. That's like you still tarrying on Facebook, and you know in your mind that you need to be reading or studying, meditating on the law, whatever, and you denying it. That's prideful. You're denying it. You haven't read all day. You haven't even looked at a precept. Okay, you watched the video, so what? But you haven't read a precept. You ain't read none of that. It's prideful. But you're just strolling on social media, being idle. You're tarrying on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, watching a whole bunch of boxing clips and highlights. Read on, and it came to pass in an eventide that David arose from off his bed and walked upon the roof of the king's house. And from the roof he saw a woman washing herself, and the woman was very beautiful to look upon. And David sent and inquired after the woman, and one said, is this Bathsheba, Salakia, the daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah the Hittite? And David got a warning. I mean, we all know this account. David got a warning from the Most High. The Most High spoke through his servant. Hey, ain't this so-and-so? David said, through the Spirit, shoot, I gotta have her. I gotta get on Facebook. I gotta get this money. I gotta play the game, bro. You seen the new season on 2K? It's a new season. They got do-rags on there now. Man, brother, come on, man. That's prideful, man. Right? David was warned and he denied it. Now you in an imputed mind, man. Now your mind is imputed. You disregard of the definition, disregard of others. You're disregarding the Most High. That's what you're doing when you're in that spirit. And that's what David did. And like I say, you don't want to, the Lord will be angry with you and you won't even know. Like, that's one of the most scariest things. Like, the Most High is upset with you and you don't know. The only way you're going to know is when you get that judgment. Or a brother it's good that a brother come up to you and be, hey, man, you so-and-so, you been this and that. That's what David had to go through, right? I ain't finna go through the whole account. I'm going to just jump to the next chapter, right? As when the prophet was letting him know, gave him a example of himself, right? To make you realize that you've been going off. You was prideful. And pride, now you shameful, man, right? I'm going to jump to the next chapter, 2 Samuel chapter 12. Yeah, start at verse 1. And the Lord sent Nathan unto David, and he came unto him and said unto him, there were two men in one city, the one rich and the other poor. The rich man had many flocks and herds, but the poor man had nothing. Such one little ill lamb, which he had bought and nourished up, and grew up together with him and with his children. It did eat of his own meat, and drink of his own cup, and lay in his bosom, and was unto him as a daughter. And there came a traveler unto the rich man, and he spared to take of his own flock and of his own herd to dress for the wayfaring man that was coming to him. But took the poor man's lamb and dressed it for the man that was come to him. And David's anger was greatly kindled against the man. And he said to Nathan, as the Lord liveth, the man that have done this thing shall surely die. And it's crazy, right? He getting an example of himself and don't even know it. Most are upset with you and you don't even know it, right? It's nerve-wracking. Then once David found out, I ain't finna keep reading on, but once David found out, dang, that was me. I'm tripping, man. That's pride. That's why you should diligently, examine yourself and make sure so you don't end up in these situations, right? You got it though, King.
We'll get a few more precepts before we close out. All right. But this is Psalms chapter, going into, how you can increase, because a lot of people, they want to increase, they want to grow in the truth, they want to be the best that they could be, right? And like we said, it comes with being humble, right? So if you want to grow in wisdom, hey, you got to be humble. If you want to grow in endurance, you got to be humble, right? Anywhere that you want to increase in any aspect in this truth, you can't let pride get in the way of that, right? Because pride is going to blind your eyes. Pride is going to stop you from seeing what's wrong with you or what you could be doing better. All right, but let's grab this in Psalms chapter 25 and verse number 9. Right? This is Psalms 25 and verse 9. It says, the meek will he guide in judgment, and the meek will he teach his way. Right? And I'm going to drop down to verse 14. The secret of the Lord is with them that fear him, and he will show them his covenant. Right? So only right, you was meek enough to hear the truth, to understand the truth, to come into the truth. Right? But are you going to be meek enough to continue to grow in the truth? Are you going to be meek enough to remove spirits and demons from you on a day-to-day basis all the way into the end? Right? Hey, that's who the Lord is teaching his way. Right? He paving the way for the meek. Right? Not for the prideful man, not for the prideful woman. That, hey, he just want to do whatever he want to do. She want to do whatever she feel like is right for her. Living in pleasure, living in wickedness. Right? Not trying to grow, not trying to increase, not trying to be there for their brothers and sisters. Right? Let me grab this precept in Sirach, the third chapter. I got like two more, and I'm gonna just close it out. Right, this is Sirach chapter 3, and I'm gonna start at verse number 17. It says, "My son, go on with thy business in meekness, so shalt thou be beloved of him that is approved." That's plain, right? Go on. This is your business. This truth is the business, right? You need to go on in this business, with meekness, right? It says, "The greater thou art, the more humble," right? It says, "The greater thou art, the more humble thyself, and thou shalt find favor before the Lord." Right? So the more you increase, hey, that's the more humble you should get. Right? You was a level 1, you was humble. Right? Then you became a level 5, you was humble. Then you reached up to level 20, and you should be even more humble than you was when you was at level 1. Right? Because when you was level 1, you had a lot of pride in you. You didn't want to tell people your secret sins. You didn't want to tell people this. You didn't want to do this. You didn't want to listen to the Lord. Right? You want to do your own thing still. Right? But when you get to a level 20, hey, that's when you should be you should be there. Right? Level 100. Right? You should be more and more humble the more you grow in this truth. Right? It says, "Many are in a high place and of renown, but mysteries are revealed unto the meek." Right? So that's the only way you grow, is by being in that meek spirit, like we said before. Right? Because many men they were in high places. They were mighty men in the truth. Then the Lord tore them down because of pride. They might have committed adultery. That's prideful. They might have hated their brother. That's prideful. They might have became a homosexual. We know that's pride. Right? Hey, he might have did something that pride got in his way and blinded him. Now he just can't understand the truth anymore. Right? But I got one more precept. You got a closing precept?
Yeah,
Come on. Right, this is the book of John, chapter 6, and verse number 65. Right? Pull it up. Right. It's my favorite account right here. Right? John chapter 6. We're going to start at verse number 65. Right? It says, "And he said, therefore said I unto you, that no man could come to me except they were given unto him of my Father." From that time, many of his disciples went back and walked no more with him. Right? So you got Yahushua, right? And he had more than 12 disciples at a time. Right? He's telling all these different disciples. He said, hey, you can't come unto the Father, right? You can't come unto me and learn to me and come into this truth unless it was given unto you by the Most High God Yahweh. Right? And that goes for us today. You can't come into the truth, right? You can't come in, learn the secrets, the mysteries. You can't learn Yahushua unless it was given unto you by the Father. So that right there, that should make you put you in the spirit of meekness, because the Lord could have chosen somebody else. Lord could have got somebody else, and gave them the truth, gave them the wisdom, knowledge, understanding. You'll still be a sack of bones, dead and dry. Right? But it also said in verse 66, it says, "From that time, many of his disciples went back and walked no more with him." They like, man, hey, what the hell is he talking about? Right? I'm not dealing with that. And that's what men do. They start to fall away from the truth because of pride. That's what these men did. And they didn't want to be humble and listen to the Lord right here. This is Yahushua speaking. And they turned back and walked no more with the Lord. That's crazy. Right? It says, "Then Yahushua said unto the 12," now you got the 12 disciples. "Will ye also go away?" Will you also go away to the 12 disciples? Right? Let's see what Simon said. It says, "Then Simon Peter answered him, Lord, to whom shall we go? Thou hast the words of eternal life." Hey, so he telling the Lord, hey, man, where else am I go, Lord? You got the words of eternal life. You got the truth. You my way to salvation. Right? And that's the mindset you need to move in. So being subject unto the Most High God and his son, Yahushua. Right? Hey, they got the truth. They got eternal life right there in your face. So where else you gonna go? You gonna go back to Christianity? Being back to a wicked, nasty, dirty Muslim? Right? Being a damn idiot spiritualist, whatever they call it, with a damn bunch of stones and necklaces, putting it on your forehead, drawing chalk on the ground, saying, hey, I'm gonna get into a new portal. just all kind of madness and chakras. BS. Are you going to do that, or are you going to get the words of life, or continue to walk with the Lord? Like, that's the spirit we should be all moving in these last days, right? If we want to get the kingdom, right? If we want to serve the Most High God, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, right? And with that, I'm gonna give all honor, glory, and praise to you.
You brought up Sirach chapter 2, verse 17.
You got it.
I'm bringing just one last precept. We gonna close. All right, this is the book of Sirach chapter 2, verse 17. It says, "They that fear the Lord will prepare their hearts and humble their soul in His sight." And we know the Most High eyes is everywhere. You know, He watches us every day. So that means that every day we should be preparing our hearts and humble our souls in His sight. They that fear the Lord. So if you have fear of the Lord, you will know, man, He's watching me, man. Let me, just check yourself, man. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. With that, Kwame Yashua.
Right. Give all honor, glory, praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Kwame Yashua. Shalom.